Hello everybody, I'm here with a video. Sorry if my hair looks like crap, it's got still coconut oil in it. uh, anyhow, I wanted to talk about well-being because, that's kind of something I've seen a correlation with gender variant people and, blind people as well as, either they got mental health issues like depression, anxiety, blah, 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 stuff like that. And, they're trying to recover from that, or maybe they just don't even know what to do anymore because, they've just been mentally like that for so long. And, I've met a lot of people who are like that too, but, it's not just the mental side of it too, it's also the physical side of it. And honestly, what I'm going to say can really apply to just about anything, really. Yeah, so, but, those are my two big focuses. And, of course, the physical side being, sorry, I've seen quite a bit of hefty people in the trans community and in the blind community, and we're just a bunch of badasses. And I think, or at least I would hope that, some of us would like to lose weight. Or just be healthier in general, not even just losing weight, just being healthy so we don't feel so gross. I don't know. Anyhow, and I just gotta say, two major things that it takes is dedication and the will to do so. If you do not have the will there, and if you really don't want it, you're not gonna get it. That's a huge thing. And and another thing is it takes time. It takes time to get better. It takes a lot of time, actually. In fact, mental health even takes longer than physical health, and we all know how long physical health takes. So, yeah. And also finances, that's a huge one I'm having issues with, too. And so, yeah, I mean, like I said, this can really apply to anything. And it's just, you gotta be dedicated. The thing is you gotta be strong even when you're not. Like, I am a noodly arms person. Or more of a fat noodly arm. I'm like one of those Asian noodle arms. Like, what is it, udon noodles? Something like that, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Point obviously being is like, you gotta be your kind of strong. A person might be able to push a mountain, but gosh, I know that sounds stupid, but it's a metaphor, people. Anyhow, no, someone can push a mountain, and maybe you're only able to push a pebble right now. And, just keep pushing that pebble, And maybe one of these days it will become a bigger rock. And a bigger rock after that. It'll become a nice boulder. And, become like a cliff or something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. And like, one day you'll push that mountain, but right now you're just gonna be pushing that pebble around for a little bit, and that's fine. And I think a huge thing that really deters us from being better, being a better self, ourselves, is the fact that we live in a world where failure is not an option. But the thing is it's natural to fail. I mean, it's like saying, no, you can't be natural. Like, I don't know, it's like telling a woman to go, be like, okay, no, no, go put on some makeup, you're too ugly, too ugly. And then we can talk about dating. Which, I mean, it sounds stupid, but I mean, it's really the equivalent. I'm used to sounding stupid, so it's alright. And, you know, we get so criticized. People don't see. Like, it's that thing of, it takes years to gain someone's trust, and just one mistake to destroy it all. And we live in a society where just, you can fuck up really easily and really badly, and it sucks. And, God, it's awful. And, you know, and of course, you know, time. Another issue we all have is just, we don't really know how to look at ourselves a year from now, 2 years from now. And I think that's what, gosh, you know, if it's, yeah, hell, you can support yourself. I've been doing it for a while, to be honest. For the most part, at least, you know, maybe a support person here and there, but, you know, it's like, yeah. At least for me, you know, maybe it's the other way around for someone else. But for me, trying to imagine myself a year from now is just like, what? And, you know, I can kind of do it. I can somewhat do it. And, yeah. But then, like, 2 years from now. See, my goal right now, my 2-year goal, is to, at the very least, have the finances available for me to have top surgery. And so, yeah, I mean, it's it's as simple as that, really. Gosh, my brain goes away a lot. And, you know, we don't think about it. We just don't. We want results now. We want to be this, like, supermodel freaking, like, Superman person, or, like, I don't know, whatever, like Miss America or something like that. And we want those results immediately, right? I mean, fuck. Oh God. It's just, you know, like for me with being transgender, I want these things here off of me as soon as I can. I wish they were off right now. I wish I could just walk into, you know, a doctor's office, be like, okay, here, take these off now. But, you know, in a way, I think it's good. I know, kind of like, I think it's good that, you know, we have to save up for that kind of stuff, because, I mean, it's just, it gives us time to think things over, make sure we're making the right decision, and it's like, man, if you're dedicated enough to save up that much money, heck, go ahead, get top surgery, do what you want to do, buddy. You know, you really want this, and you're really dedicated to this, and you pulled your stuff together, basically. And so, yeah. And like I said, I mean, I I'm trying to go to fitness classes. I'm trying to lose weight, and I wish I would just go ahead and lose all the weight right now. Just walk into yoga, walk into yoga. Just feel like, yeah, yeah. That's the wrong movement. But I'd like to have just all that weight go. Well, okay, I'm done. I'm just like, but yeah. The thing is it's dedication. It's you know, and even when it comes to like mental health, you know, you can still get better. It's like maybe you're dealing with anxiety and you have panic attacks all of the dang time. Maybe you have a panic attack like, three times each day. Okay, take it down a notch. Try to have, you know, two panic attacks each day. Okay? How about that? Just, then you can look at yourself and be like, yeah, I had one less anxiety attack. And you know what? Guess what? If you mess up, you mess up. It's fine. It's. People might not like it. People just don't recognize that you're really trying as hard as you can. And no one's going to truly understand how hard you're trying. And it's like if you have depression, just do what you can. Get out of bed. Get moving. If you self harm, try to self harm one less time than you do. Uh, you know, try to make yourself, go as long as you can. And guess what? If you, so what? Maybe you have 3 panic attacks one day. So what? You got the next day. You can just be like, okay, yeah, I failed my 2 panic attack limit, but that's okay because I'm still trying, and or maybe you just lost all motivation that day and life just hit you in the face. Okay, that's normal. Okay, people don't want to admit it's normal, but it is. And it's like, okay, maybe you have 4 panic attacks one day. And you're like, oh my gosh, I had even more than I usually do. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then you have a 5th, a panic attack. Because that's how anxiety works. It really is, and I know because I do that. Um, so, I'm laughing, but it's like, laughing is honestly one of my coping mechanisms. So, uh, so who knows if I'm actually sad or happy? But yeah, so okay. So what? You had 4 or 5 panic attacks one day. Yeah. You know what? I bet you there are like, I bet some of those athletes who have to keep in tip top shape have a day where they're just like, okay, you know what? No, I'm not gonna exercise as much as I would. Or I'm not even gonna exercise at all, or like someone on a strict diet. It's just like, oh my gosh, cheese fries. Like, I mean, if there's not someone like that out there, I would be like, am I still on Earth? Are these still humans? What? It's just like, when you have to work to be better, or at least when you have to work to at least kind of be average, even, people are going to look at you like, oh my gosh, that person's awful. Oh my gosh, why? Who does that person think they are? Just, ugh. They're just always so depressed, or they're so freaking weak because they have panic attacks all the time. And it's like, But you know what? If they were in your shoes, guess what? They probably wouldn't even try. Because so many people don't want to try. For some people, being average is just being average. It's their average. That's why it's called average. And some people have all the luck, and they just got motivation out the. ah, and you know, I honestly I pity those people because they'll never learn how to overcome difficult challenges. And like I said, with panic attacks, it's like, okay, so what? You messed up. You had a few panic attacks more than what you tried to set yourself limits to. But who cares? Because you can just look at yourself and say, okay, I messed up. And yeah, I feel really bad and I really hate that I did that. And don't, but get yourself back on the right track and be like, okay, but I can fix this. I can fix this. I'll fix it tomorrow and it'll be okay. And I'll just go back to doing that too. And I mean, and maybe having to is too much because you keep breaking it, and or maybe occasionally, or you have four a little too often, or you have three too often, and maybe you have to go back up and be like, okay, well, I'm gonna limit myself to three for right now, and I'm gonna try to keep that going for a long period of time, and then after a while, after a couple months of that, go to two. And after that, after a few months of that, and you finally get a consistency going, keep the consistent, once you get that consistency going, then try to go for one, or maybe like two every other day, or like three for every 2 days. So maybe you have two on one day and like one on one day or whatever, you know because you gotta set it to your standards. It's like I mean, it's like fitness. I mean, okay, honestly, like you wouldn't see me bench pressing like 200 pounds, would you? Would you? I hope not, because God, oh goodness, I would die. I would die very quickly. My bones would break. I would. In fact, actually, I just gave a radical example, but I'm going to actually give a moderate example because this actually happened to me about a year ago. Yeah, it's a year ago. And I went to try to go work out, and I ended up, pulling some things in a bad area, and I wasn't able to keep exercising because, I tried to do too much. And so, I ended up in physical therapy for a while because of it. And, it's kind of like, so yeah, I mean, and honestly, it was kind of one of those things of like, even when I was doing kind of looked below average, and it still hurt me too much to do it. So, right now I'm like, okay, take it slowly, uh, watch my limits, because for whatever reason I have more stamina than what my body can actually handle. It's it's very interesting, and I have to keep an eye on myself for that. But yeah, and like I said, right now I'm trying to lose weight, and it's hard. It's hard for me to do that because I like my food and I'm kind of lazy. And you know, and like with depression, dude, I have like probably still like below average for what a normal person should be feeling depressed at, like, but, it's still, and I mean, I still get freaking suicidal occasionally, like, but, it's like, it's so much better than what it used to be, like, ugh, because, yeah, sometimes life's just bad, just sucks, okay, and I'm an open book, I tell everybody about everything, I don't know, but, so, yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe you're having panic attack, but guess what, eventually they'll turn into one each day, and eventually you will go a day without having one. Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't it? And yeah, it's and when you try to uh, go up a notch, it's going to be more difficult, and you're going to feel like, oh my goodness, I just you're going to feel like you can't do it, but you got to do it anyways. And in a sense, that's being strong, even when you're not. It's it's like I can't do it. I have to. I have to do it. I can't, but I have to, and I will. So yeah, just and I know everyone says don't say you can't, and honestly, I'm the type of person that's just like, I mean, maybe that works for some people, but it's just like sometimes you're like, damn it, I can't do this, you know. But saying, but adding in the I have to and so I will. I can't, but I will. That is a very important thing to do and to say. Is whatever makes you get to that point. You might be like, oh dang it, I can't, because like honestly, I have to be honest with myself and with others, and I cannot actually. If I feel like I can't do something, I will say it, but I will say I can't do it, but I will try and give it my best shot. So it's like, you know, it's like maybe you want to run a mile, and good and well you can't run a mile, but you're gonna still try it, and maybe you don't hit the mark. And guess what? You can try it again and again and again and again until you get it, because that's how you do it. And like I said, this all really applies to everything. This is what's actually got me through my depression as much as it has. And I am. And this is something I've been using for health as well. And, habits are a pain in the butt to get started. Good habits, they're they are difficult. Like, and honestly, I've been trying to work out for years. And I think either I got it this time or I'm going to have it next time. But it's always saying, okay, I'm coming back to this and I'm going to do it. Even if you're not. Like, and maybe you're the type of person who needs to lie to themselves. I don't know, because we all have different coping mechanisms. We all have a different way of dealing with things. Like, I have a friend who we have very similar things, but our coping mechanisms are completely opposite, and it's interesting and sometimes not so great. Because we butt heads, but what friends don't, right? And so like, I've been trying to work out consistently for years and years and years, and eventually I've just gotten to the point where it's like I've just gotten to the point where even if I, now I'm just kind. It used to be like I came back to it once every year or two, and then it was like, okay, I'm coming back to it every 6 months or so, and I'm coming back to it every few months, and eventually, of course, those things actually repeated themselves quite a bit, like 6 months, 6 months, 6 months, 6 months, 3 months, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 3, 30, I don't know. And 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, something like that, something of that nature. And at this point, I'm kind of to the point where I'm always coming back to it uh, every couple weeks or so. So it's like, okay, I stopped going to exercise for a couple weeks, and then I go back into it, and and maybe that's what it takes. And honestly, like, there are better ways to go about this. And so, for some people, maybe it's starting cold turkey, just stopping or starting cold turkey, I guess. Just like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna consistently do it, and you're good with just that. uh, yeah, and I mean, like right now with the fitness thing, I'm going to some fitness classes, and with the pass I have, it's you have a wide variety of things to go to, and of course I go to things that my body can handle and is not going to kill me. Most of those classes being yoga. Some of the yogas are actually too strenuous on me though. and and I choose multiple classes because I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have a bunch ready. That way, when I stop going to one of them, I'm still going to like two or three, two or three others of them. And of course, sometimes, and I'm hoping, I'm hoping this method is actually going to work for me, because I'm not the type of person I can just take it slowly. I'm just like, okay, gotta take it full force. But yeah, it's it's interesting. And like I said, sometimes for some things, you might be better just taking it gently and calmly. I forget to breathe sometimes. And just being gentle, being calm, and just taking it easy, but still trying, even if it's just a little bit. You know, maybe you upgrade to a rock instead of a pebble. I don't know, and you start rolling that rock around a little bit, and maybe you're there for a while. But maybe then also you're the type of person like me who's like, okay, I want to take this full force. It's either all or nothing, baby. And you know, you know, that's when you have to have backup plans. Okay, if you're the type of person that all or nothing, you better have your backup plans for your backup plans. And you better have a backup plan for those backup plans, okay? And yeah. And this can go for studying, this can go for depression, this can really go for a lot of things. And this is coming from someone who has gotten better with depression, and who is currently working on weight loss and fitness, and trying to work on finances and saving up money. And you know just like, and trying to figure out trying to have the patience to work with technology. It's I'm not a technology person. In fact, YouTube is honestly one of my steps towards bettering myself with technology, I guess. And that's just a great example right there. Is, it doesn't matter how stupid you look. It doesn't, you know, honestly, look stupid. Be bright and proud about it. Just be like, yeah, you know what? I look stupid. Dirt, dirt, dirt. But at least you're trying, and that is something that other people might not see. But I can guarantee you, if they were in your shoes, a lot of them, most of them, and possibly even all, depending who you are, who you run across, would not have the strength and the dedication and the willpower to do so. Because, like I said, when you're depressed, it's hard to get up. It's hard to be motivated. When you have panic attacks all the time, to where it just your whole life feels like just one giant panic attack. Yeah, yeah. It's hard as crap. Okay? It's not easy. In fact, it's downright difficult. And yeah, we try to act like, oh, it's so easy, and and honestly, everything, even what I'm saying, is so much easier said than done, because I will tell you, it's a lot easier for me to tell you guys this than for me to actually do it. But, even on the days when you're like, I don't want to, I can't do this, but you gotta do it anyways. And you gotta, you know, you might not be able to, maybe you just feel so out of it that you can't even, you can't get out of bed. Well, guess what? You can get on your knees and hands and crawl. If you're too weak to do that, then freaking drag yourself just like. And guess what? If you have to cry along the way, then freaking cry, because sometimes that's just what gets us through it. Okay, do what you have to do to get through it. But don't just sit there and be like, I can't, so I won't. Yeah, maybe you can't, but guess what? You're going to, and you will, even if you can't. And, and yeah, I mean, there are going to be limitations, like I said, when it comes to something like, lifting weight. And you know what? If maybe you have medical conditions, where sometimes exercising can be dangerous, like if you have blood sugar issues. And in fact, I can relate to that, because I'm pre-diabetic, and it's so sometimes you're like, oh gosh, I gotta make sure my blood sugar doesn't drop or whatever, and that's where you do what you have to do. So I mean, for me, that might be carrying around a snack around, or whatever. Also, I'm anemic. Well, not anemic, but borderline anemic, whatever. Which is both of those reasons are actually like, I don't want to become anemic, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, by the way. And I don't want to become diabetic, so I'm trying to. I really am trying to get my crap together. I want to be healthier, and so I don't freaking die of diabetes. Diabetes. There we go. Oh gosh, and just so yeah. I mean, for me, that saying, carry around some candy bars or something like that, or whatever, or eat something that has a less chance of making you feel like crap, and limit yourself. There are very obvious limitations, and like, and honestly, like, I'm the type of person that's like, I'll do things that involve sight and be like, okay, I'll do it, but I can't. And I mean, that's like an obvious limitation I have that's not gonna change no matter what, I put into it. But I'm still like, all right, I'll do it. And you know what? You work around things. I mean, heck, actually, there are a lot of things that's kind of like you would think, a blind person can't do, but they can because, they work around it. And that's what you gotta do. You gotta work around your hard limitations like that. Like for me, for instance, it's kind of like when I go to these fitness classes, I tell the person, the instructor that, hey, I'm blind, so I might not see what's going on, and asking for audible to be a little bit more audible with my with my level of vision. I can maybe see the person right next to me, but not the actual instructor themselves or whatever. And yeah, or like you know, uh, well, like even reading. I mean, that's kind of one of those things of like, well, how how do you read? And it's like, and I mean, any blind person, watching me knows exactly how to use technology so you can navigate whatever. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna, my, like with my sight, it's not. In fact, my sight's actually gonna get worse, and I'm trying to, I'm working to make sure that it does not, you know, continue to get worse. I'm trying to make sure, I don't overstrain my eyes or whatever. I don't do something stupid to them. I don't know. And and just in case, I'm trying to learn more audible things, and it's like, I mean, yeah, but guess what? Mental health, yeah, you know, you're you're gonna have to take that slowly, but you can, come over that. And in fact, with my site, if in fact, if they ever find a thing to, help with that, then that's something I want to work towards. Uh, whatever discoveries. It's like, it's still like I'm still working to make my eyesight better, even though, it's like there's a very good chance it's gonna do the complete opposite. And because it's actually rare enough that, no one does a lot of research on it, and it's like, oh, okay. uh, so yeah, I mean, it's like, and that's a very hard physical, like, that, like, and there are medical conditions. Uh, I'll be honest though, not everybody who says that they can't lose weight, that's not always a hard limitation, because you know you don't know until you're honestly trying very, very hard. And yeah, I mean, in fact, I think that, yeah, it's like, there's a lot of things with me. I'm kind of like, I get a lot of headaches and dizziness, and I'm not quick to be like, okay, this is a problem with me, and I know it's not my health, because I do recognize that, okay, yeah, I could eat healthier, I could exercise better, I could drink more water, and these are possible reasons as to why my head hurts and possibly why I get dizzy. And so yeah, I mean, don't don't just come up with excuses, okay? Like, yeah, because excuses are just gonna get you nowhere and nowhere fast. Because yeah, I mean, if you find a reason to say I can't and therefore I won't, you've already screwed yourself over. If you say I can't, but I'm gonna try, and I hope to one day achieve that, and or like I will, or whatever, say something like that. But don't say I can't and so I won't, because that's just, I, I mean, unless you want to be wherever, unless you want that limitation, then by all means, uh, you're kind of screwing yourself over if it's a negative thing. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, like, and like with people with like dyslexia or something like that, it's like you know, they have to work their butt off to freaking read things. But guess what? You know, they they tackle that. Some people, they tackle that very hard limitation that they have, and so it's working with what you have. It's trying your darndest with whatever you can do, and that those are just facts of just you work with what you got. Yeah, what is it they tell you as a kid? You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. There we go. And honestly, people nowadays don't get that. But yeah, so I mean, and I know I've probably been repetitive, but honestly, when it comes to well-being, darn it, sometimes repetitiveness is a good thing. Okay, so just get out there and you know what? Start pushing that pebble. And you know what? Maybe you won't push a mountain. And that's okay. Because, how many people you see pushing around a mountain, anyways? But, you know, you know, just take it one step at a time and, become better. And, in fact, with that whole thing of, take it one step at a time, it's like, try to imagine yourself 2 years from now. Or, if you're, or 10 years. Like I said, if I can't even comprehend that, I can't comprehend anything over like 5 years. Okay? 5 years is very, I can't comprehend anything beyond that. In fact, I can barely comprehend anything beyond like 3 years. Um, so yeah, you know, or, if you can't even do it to my extent of 2 years, do 1 year. And, it's like, even with 1 year, I'll tell you, things change a lot in a year. Okay? Uh, Realistically, if you eat, if you just eat the normal, calorie amount that you should eat, and, you do the calorie intake versus calorie outs kind of thing, when it comes to physical things, let's see, realistically, you can easily lose, I say easily, relatively easily lose at least 2 pounds, each week. So, guess what? 52 weeks, 1 year. 2 times 52, 104. Dang, you just lost 104 pounds in a year. And yeah, that, sometimes it's like, I don't want to do this for a year. But you know what? And it's like, but that's not a lot for how long it took. And it's just like, but guess what? After a year, you'll be 104 pounds lighter than what you would be if you didn't even try. And that's just, a hard fact. Uh, like I said, a lot of this is very math based, trying to think. You gotta think rationally and realistically, and you gotta think with math too. Uh, as much as you can. Bust out a calculator if you're not a math person. And it's like, let's see. Finances, like, maybe, maybe you can save back $100, each month. Or maybe you're really poor and, maybe 50, or maybe 10, or maybe just $1, each month. And even $1 each month will, at the end of the year, you got like $12. I mean, that's not a lot, but it's still $12 more than what you would have if you didn't save. 10, it would be $120, at the end of the year. That'd be pretty nice. You probably buy a trampoline or a bike, something like that, at the end of the year. Look at that, you got a new trampoline and a bike, or a bike. Those are things you wouldn't have, or maybe you got to go to a concert or something. You got to go to a good concert, or like VIP pass to kind of a mediocre concert. I don't know. If you save back $50, each month, yeah, you got. Oh gosh. Now I have to do actual math. Don't you guys just love me? Try. Oh yeah. Okay. So you'd have like $600, I think. I might be wrong, but I don't care. It's only human to be wrong. But I think I'm right. I think. And I mean, dang, look at that! You got a full. You got enough money for a decent. You got money for a month rent. In case something happens and you can't afford rent. I don't know. Or if you save back $100, each month. Look at that, you got $1,020. Baby, you are on your way. Yeah, I mean, dang, you could take a nice vacation with that money. Let's see. I mean, well, if you take Greyhound, if you take an airplane. You could maybe buy a round trip, and maybe a night at a hotel. I honestly don't know airplane prices. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's like, and so on. And okay, so you're like, okay, but potato. My problem isn't physical, or maybe it is, but it's honestly more mental. And back to like the panic attack thing, it's like, okay, maybe you go a couple months. Let's make a nice assumption that each time taking a notch down on average, because with mental health it's gonna vary. Let's say let's try to be realistic with this. Let's say it takes 4 months. This is probably actually being like you're doing pretty good overall, and so maybe you take it down a notch each month. Each 4 months. Okay. So yeah, you start at 3, and maybe having 3 panic attacks each day, and you start to go down to 2. So you, after 4 months, you're like, okay, I've done good. I've been consistent about this, and and maybe those numbers are gonna be less, maybe they're gonna be more, but that's based on you. And guess what? Only don't you know feel the burn, but don't completely hurt yourself. Okay, like seriously. So after that 4 months, you're working on trying to do one panic attack each day, and you after 4 months, so it's been 8 months. Guess what? And so you're like, okay, I've been consistent, I've been doing good. Okay, let's try to try to have um let's aim for every other day having a panic attack. And after those 4 months, guess what? You're at a year. So now you can for the most part have you're not you you, you probably have you probably at the very least have managed to have one day of no panic attacks after a year. Whereas before you were having 3. You're in those panic attacks for your meals, man. And yeah, I mean, and of course, honestly, anxiety is the one I'm actually also still working on myself. And it's very difficult. And when it comes to mental health, what I did at least is I took it one mental health issue at a time, because it's one of those things that's very hard to deal with. Because I've been dealing with anxiety and depression and probably some other issues for years. Oh yeah, and gender dysphoria apparently. So yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, which thing am I gonna try to work on first? And for me, my reasoning was I'm gonna work on depression, because I mean, what's the point of not having panic attacks if I'm if I'm feeling so depressed, I'm suicidal all the time, and I'm probably just gonna end up killing myself before I can stop the panic attacks or whatever. Like, yeah. So yeah, I mean, like, what's the point of having no anxiety or reducing my anxiety when I just want to die anyways? Like, so that was kind of my reasoning. Let's see. Oh, God, I've been working on it for. I started really trying to get better with my depression in 8th grade. 5, 6, 7 years. Okay, so dang. So about 6, 7 years ago, I started, trying to get better with my depression. And I get it. It's hard. It really is. I mean, like I said, I've been trying to get better for almost 7 years now. And I still am suicidal from time to time. Like, I don't attempt it anymore, but like, but it's still a thought that crosses through my mind. Like, so I mean, realistically, it's like, wow, I've been doing this for so long, but it's worth it. It really is worth it, even if it takes a long freaking time. So, like, let's see, first it was kind of like 6 months of depression, and honestly, like, a very large majority of this is just purely me trying to get better for myself because I don't want to be depressed. And, I don't feel like I should be depressed, but I'm depressed. And, so it's like 6 months of depression and then maybe a month or two of okay, life is going okay, I guess. And, that repeated itself a couple times, and then, eventually got to a point where, oh, look, it's been about 2 months of happiness, or at least kind of okayness, and, back to the 6 months of depression, and it's like, that number slowly, basically, trying to increase that number each time as much as I could, and, eventually, I actually, let's see, so a lot of things also, a lot of my situational stuff cleared up too. So about the time that the situational stuff cleared up, I was still having like 5 or 6 months of depression, and then 2 or 3 months of okay, everything's going okay, I guess. It's still like I really want to get out of this situation really bad, and I'm gonna set plans to, get away from this and stuff like that. But then trash kind of took itself out eventually, which was nice. And so, this was like 11th grade. And so, that was like 3-ish years of, me trying to get better. And so, you're like, oh my gosh, potato, 3 years, and you've really only increased, your feelings of, you've only like lengthened, the time that you feel okay to about a month. And you've maybe shortened your time of being depressed by maybe a couple weeks after 3 years. But it's like, yeah, that's what it takes sometimes. Because time is a bitch. It really is. And so, and after that, oh my goodness, it got a lot. Okay, actually, after the situational thing, I got worse. And then, like, once I got out of it, I got significantly worse, and I ended up in, like, mental hospital, stuff like that. All the fun crap. Horrifically suicidal for a good 8 months. 9 months. 8 months. And then, like, kind of procrastinated killing myself. Actually, that's a good way to get over your depression, is just procrastinate suicide. And eventually, you won't want to kill yourself. And, so, that entire year was just, I think it took about a year before I started being okay again. And after that year of, like, okay, so basically it's like 9 months of terrible, deep, dark depression, sadness, post-destruction, and in fact, I post-trauma too, just because I definitely had my nightmares, and I still occasionally do. But yeah. Ooh, that stuff's fun, isn't it? And then, guess what? I started getting a lot better. And so this is like senior year of high school. And I'm gonna be honest, like, things started going right. And actually, I actually got an Optimist Award my senior year of high school, and it's like, so I mean, I went from I okay, like within a year, I went from mental hospital to Optimist Award, qualifying for a national competition, and being a very involved part of a club at in high school. So I mean, like a year can make a huge difference as well. Like, and like I said, sometimes like those first 3 years, it took so long. It took so freaking long. But you know, y'all are probably like, "Oh my God, Potato, you, your video is so long. Do you ever shut up?" No, no, I don't. I'm sorry. Uh, Anyhow, do you ever stop going on tangents? Sorry, that doesn't happen either. That is a thing I plan to work on. Actually, I'm working on it by making YouTube videos and trying to make them not as long. So I could be worse. But point being is like, damn, and then I start becoming like three. I have like 3 or 4 months of depression, and like maybe 2 months of okay, everything's kind of going all right, I guess. And well, it's more like 4 months of of depression, 3 or 4 months of depression, and like 3 or 4 months of no, yeah, no brain. What are you doing? Okay, 2 or 3 weeks of everything's kind of going okay, and then like that happened a couple times, and then like okay, and like and up to this point, it's been a couple years now. I'm sophomore in college, and now it's kind of like I'll have I'll have about I'll have about a month or well, actually, it's actually more like 2 or 3 months of I'm doing actually really good, and then I'll have like 2 or 3 weeks of depressed. Just I want to die sometimes, and uh, and stuff like that, and like with and like self harming. I self harmed, and it's like uh, damn, it was actually a miracle if I got through a freaking week without doing it, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna try to not do this anymore, and blah blah blah. And I'm gonna be honest, it's a thing that happens about every year, twice a year maybe, uh, and it's so. I mean, I'm not like I'm not sitting here being like it's all rainbows and butterflies and sunshine and everything's great because I'm better and I'm stronger and I've overcome it all and you can do it too. And I'm like, no, you can do it, and I hope you can be better than me. That's what I want for you, because I'm still in a rut sometimes, and I think we all find ourselves there. I'm gonna be realistic about it. I'm gonna I'm gonna tell you to to go out there and give it your damnedest. Okay, give it everything you got and then some. And you know, a lot of people aren't gonna notice it, but guess what? Do it anyways. But I'm also gonna be real and say it's gonna take some time. It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck a lot, and you're gonna have times of doubt, and some days you just can't. You just some days you're gonna fail, and it's okay to fail, because guess what? That's normal. That's natural. I mean, goodness, how often do humans actually fail at things. If you look at it, it's we shame each other pretty bad for something that's so natural. I mean, really, we really do. And it's a shame in itself, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, like, I still got my issues, I am very far, far, far from perfect. I'm far from being a go-lucky person. I'm far from being like I don't know what's oh gosh, I'm far from being this like amazing person who's just overcome the odds and got through everything, because honestly, I'm still I'm still going through my own personal hell, and you're going through your personal hell. But you know what? Guess what? You're not going to get out of that personal hell unless you start walking. Because no one's coming to save you. And that's a fact. Someone might be there to lend you a hand when you need it. Or maybe they won't. I don't know. But, but guess what? You can't just sit there and expect someone to pull you off your butt when, you're not even trying to get up. And, like, maybe someone might hand you a map out of hell. I don't know. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And maybe that person would be like, well, I'm going there anyways, and I can kind of understand the map a little bit, so you want to walk with me? Or like maybe they know a little bit of the trail ahead or something like that, and you're like, yeah, you want to follow me, but they're not going to stay there with you, because that's not fair for them to stay there in hell with you. And I mean, why do you want to stay in hell? I know that's where all the good parties are, but damn. And so yeah. So I'm gonna try to wrap up this very long video that is actually not my longest video. Just by saying, you can do things. It might be difficult. And it's not going to be easy. But you know what? I'm telling you, once you start getting there and you start seeing the progress you've made, you're going to feel like you're on top of the world. And you're going to feel like, I can do anything. And, it's a part of well-being. Whether it's mental, physical, financial, gosh, whatever, just name it. Like, I mean, yeah, I know time is difficult to deal with, and dedication is very hard to keep doing over time, especially, when you're looking at a year. And sometimes, for some people, it's better if you just cut it down into months. Because everyone has a different way of approaching it. And yeah, but, anyone can do it. For some, it's harder. For some, it's significantly harder. And you might get looked down upon. But that's their problem, I know it kind of sounds cocky, but damn, be the better person. And you know what? And when people are treating you like crap because of the decisions that because of how you are now, and they're like, well, you should just be able to be this way, or you can. It's so easy. Like, why are you having such a difficult time with this? And when they see that how far you've come, that's when they will be like, damn, remember that one guy who like had a panic attack like every every time of existence? Did you notice that he hasn't had a panic attack like lately? Like that's kind of weird. Wow, I'm glad to see him doing so much better or whatever. Uh, or like or like if you're fat and you're just like, oh, oh, you're just like sitting there still eating. You, maybe you're taking it a notch down from eating only junk food and eating occasional junk food and maybe some kind of healthy stuff here and there. And you keep amping it up each time, and then one day those same people are looking at you like, ooh, sexy, damn, I want to. And uh and it's like, dang, I wouldn't want to pick a fight with that guy. That guy is muscular. He's freaking dang, or like, dang, man. Look at the way that guy eats. Man, I wish I could eat that healthy, like, and it's because they don't know dedication, and they haven't had to try as hard. So, and I know it's. It sounds cocky to be like, hey, tell yourself you're better than them. My advice on that end is, okay, like, try to internally be cocky, but still kind of be humble, please. Um, or even have fake cockiness if you're like me, in the sense of like you honestly look at everyone around you and you're like, everyone is so much freaking better than me. What's wrong with me? Uh, you're comparing yourself all the time. Internally be cocky or just fake some cockiness. I don't know, and it's that whole thing of fake it till you make it kind of thing. And that actually that's been one of my better methods of dealing with mental health, honestly. uh, so yeah, I mean, no matter who you are, you know, maybe you're going through hell right now. And maybe the smallest things are difficult to do. Go and try to do those small things. And once you got a good uh, consistency going, then amp it up a notch and be like, okay, I'm gonna also add this and this and this, uh, and take it at your own pace. That's a really important thing, is take it at your own pace, but have the determination to continue to get better. Because, sometimes you have to. Like I said, with mental health, for me, depression, I didn't just want to get better. I had to get better. It was either I have to get better or I'm going to end up killing myself. And that's a dark reality. And it's the same reality for my physical health now, is, okay, I'm either going to end up dying because of because, I'm so freaking unhealthy, or I'm gonna be limited by my weight or whatever, because I continue letting myself eat poorly, and because I didn't exercise as much as I should. Uh, Once again, like I said, for me, it is difficult. It's something I'm going through right now. I'm like, oh my god. Sometimes I don't have the motive. The hardest part for me is getting the motivation to go exercise. That's the hardest thing. And sometimes it's hard for me to say no to a thing of cheese fries. and But you know what? I have to. And so I'm going to. Even if I can't, I have to. And so I will. Thank you for watching, and I know a lot of this was repetitive, but, you know, maybe it will knock it in your head, and maybe, honestly, if this, I'll be happy if this encourages just one person, honestly. Thanks for watching, and I do hope y'all can be better than me. So thanks. Bye!